Hey there, friends. How's it going? My name is Ren, and welcome back to another episode of Games Built in Public. I'm here with Studio Crying Spider. Please introduce yourselves and tell us about your game.
Hello, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm Chris. I'm the creative director, and I also do character 3D art and animation.
I'm Mauri. I'm the art director. I was forced into the job. And I do general 2D assets and I did the main character design and that sort of thing.
Hello, I'm Antti. I'm a 3D generalist, a 3D environment artist, a little bit of level design, and whatever else needs, like anything that needs done on the 3D side of things, and a little bit of level assembly as well.
That's great and fantastic. Where are you guys based, actually?
We're in Kovala right now.
Yes.
And officially speaking, the company is also in Kobla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on paper.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, you guys are actually the first studio that I'm interviewing that is outside of the Helsinki area. So the video series is spreading. It's spreading.
Yes.
We need more folks from outside of Helsinki and in Helsinki, and maybe the rest of the world too. But that's fantastic. Now tell us about the game. Tell us what the game is named and what it's all about.
So Norowareta, the Three Treasures, is a 3D single player game that's like based in Japan. The story is like based in Japan during actually there's two periods of it. There's the present times, which is actually the 90s in the game, and then Edo period, because there's the twist of like our main character will unfortunately, I suppose, like get sent back to the Edo period by force due to some mystical circumstances. So like our protagonist, that as you can see on the screen right now, is Lumi. She's born in Japan but is living in Finland because that's why her name is Lumi, which means snow. And then so the game like sets in this dark 3D world where like the players have to find items to help them find like path to progress, puzzles to solve, and of course like find enemies, I suppose.
More like avoid it.
Yeah.
Avoid enemies.
Yeah, avoid enemies or fight like their way to survival. So this is survival game. So yeah, just showing more. I think it's over here. Yes, there.
There we go.
So I mean,
No,
we can just skip that.
We
one.
can play
Okay,
the trailer.
okay.
No worries.
Okay,
If you
so
like
the,
it, it's fine.
the trailer. Are you sure we can play that?
Okay, go back to the thing.
Yeah.
Because we're apparently
So this
showing-
is like the trailer. We made like a quick trailer for the demo. Okay, there you go. So, well, this slide is basically like what I have like mentioned earlier, that it's a single player and it's like a 3D game. Right now, we are developing it only for PC. So it's like right now it's on Steam. So please add it to your wish list if you want to. No force, no pressure. And then yeah, so it's basically inspired. At least me as the creative director, I can already like say like where how like this idea came into what it is right now. Well, it started like I guess like it usually in my presentations I don't usually like share like because I don't think like it's like that important like in the presentation wise, but I think I want to say that like this game like from my personal viewpoint it started with my love with horror games. So I guess like it's like nice to share the
beginnings.
beginning of like this because I think like we know what it is now, what it is about like through gameplays and demo and also like the plethora of uh presentations that I made are also like
So many presentations and just always pitching it
yeah
to
like
other people.
yeah like with just the common like information of like how about what's like,
What's the game is
of-
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I guess like the beginning is like really nice to talk about. So this game like started as like a level design assignment.
Wasn't it an environment design?
No, it's a level design.
Okay, okay,
It's a
yeah.
level design assignment first. Like I just like have like this quick random like story going on in my head, and then like, oh maybe like we make this like kind of like prison type of like map with like some shrines in it because like I wanted to be like set in Japan because I am like heavily inspired of like Fatal Frame games because I really love those. Like I think like when I used to be scared of games because like I think I was desensitized of
Yeah.
it of horror games that like I don't get scared anymore. But back then that was like the time that like I cannot continue playing like straight. I have to have a pause because I starting to be paranoid.
Yeah.
But then yeah, that's like there's like I mean like I think everyone would agree that there's something like there's like a different flavor when it comes to like Asian horror. So that's why I really like that, and then I put it there. And then well of course like it's already like a kind of nice concept, and then like we have like other courses where like oh like you need to design a character, and I was like oh what if I connect it to this game. So I made like the boss like the Jorogumo, the spider lady, and then okay now there's that, and then oh we have like another course about environment design. Oh maybe like I will connect it to it. So it kind of starts to build up that to the point that like oh this is something. And then we have like I think the next year after all those like concepts that I created and assets like the prior stuff that I've done, there was like this thing where the teachers ask us to oh like you should present a game next year like a 3D a game, single player game, so that like we can vote which one should be continued for development. And then I didn't made like any presentation, but then everybody was presenting and there's like a long like line of people presenting, and I was like messaging Yenna because like yeah Yenna is our one of the OG and also our producer and Yenna Toivonen, and then I told her like, oh, like, do you think I should present it? And then she said like, sure, but I don't have any presentation. Well, I guess you can make one. So I just like, a quick presentation I made.
Improvised.
Yeah, I just improvised like while people are talking. Like part of me was listening to the like my classmates, and then like a part of me just like, hey, like put this photos here and there, and this is the concept. Put like a core gameplay loop and such. And then when I presented it, I was so surprised because like it garnered attention from like I guess like people like I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, like the weeb.
Well, the people who are like already like into Japanese
Yeah,
culture
yeah.
in some way or another, of course they were like, oh, I want to get into this as well. Yeah.
So yeah, so fortunately it was like one of the three concepts that were like voted that time, and we continue to develop it on the side or on the top, whichever. Of like, because it wasn't really like part of a course, but rather like a part of
The curriculum.
the curriculum
way
that we
of-
have to practice doing some stuff. So then, yeah, and then like me and Yenna, and then Miriam, and like some of like original people, original people of the alpha, like finish it like for the demo day. And at that time, we don't have really experience in actually making a game. Like, you know, we are like more of like arts people. Like we do concept design, we draw stuff.
You had to basically teach yourself to code.
Yes, that's the like what happened. So like we don't know how to code, and we just, you know what, like let's just build like this walk simulation experience. But then me and Yana, being extra in most of the time, just like thought like, oh, we still have 1 week left before demo day, let's put like maybe something to do, like, oh, find the keys, open the door. And then became a thing, and we put it like there in itch. And then, which is like, I didn't really thought of that, like reaching some Japanese audience, which is at first was a little bit like jarring, because, you know, we're presenting something from their culture that, like, of course I will say that I am not 100% knowledgeable, but I'm a fan. So but then so far, like the positive comments like made me and Yenna like to think that, like, you know what, I think we did something here, maybe we should then continue it. So that's like the origin story. And then the team like grew like when we need like actual programmers now, and then we actually have like more things to show. So yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, thank you. And then, well, yeah, well, more
Are you going
text.
to the actual like thing, or is this?
No, like, I guess like it's just like more for like people to like
Okay,
to
yeah,
look
yeah.
at while I delve on, like, because I think like I'll be like very redundant on like stuff. But so yeah.
One thing I'd like to mention is that I can also hear myself.
Oh, you do?
Okay, now I can't. Now I can't hear myself. Okay, that's good. Yeah, one thing I'd like to mention real quick is that this screenshot of that room there with that fire pit, I actually made note of that because when I looked upwards, this room actually had a chimney. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's a nice sense of realism, a nice attention to detail of the room. That you actually had the fire pit, but also the necessary chimney that goes with it.
Yeah. Yeah, like well, the environment.
Like obsessive detailing.
Yes, like
Well, we basically looked how accurately like the buildings were built, and then why am I saying we? I didn't do anything with the environment, but still, like, it was input into it, like, you know, the details and actual structural integrity.
yeah, and also like we really wanted to be accurate, like as much as possible
Yeah,
that we could with the period.
Can I mention also, like, it's related to the alpha version. When you did get actual comments from Japanese people, they did note like the structure, like it was
yes.
like in the alpha version it was like stone walls,
Yeah.
and they noted like it's a great game, but it's a little bit inaccurate because that's not how Edo period like buildings were built.
Yeah.
So that's been also great, like, to get actual feedback of like, hey, you should maybe change this to make it more accurate.
Yeah, because I think like like if I remember correctly, there's someone who like mentioned that like, oh, this give me like a Chinese, a more Chinese vibes rather than Japanese, like the alpha. So like yeah, so it was like a continuous improvement. So there's like the feedback from those who have like played it and care to give us feedback, so it's just really helpful. That's like how it is right now. So yeah.
While I was doing the playthrough, I was looking at the locked doors and wondering, aren't these doors made out of paper?
Yeah.
I just punch.
I mean, the thing is, like, the funny thing is, like, of course, like I guess, like, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
It's just that like I guess, oh well, you know what, game logic.
But that's also
Right,
so
right.
accurate to like actual old games, like when we were
Yeah.
playing Silent Hill 2 and we were like, why can't we just climb over this obstacle? Like it's always like, you know, it's logical, but it's like that's just part of the game and we just have to accept it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just cursed that you can't go through the paper.
I
Yeah.
was thinking, yeah, it's cursed. That works.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cursed.
You don't want to, tempt the paper cut.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
anger the paper ghost if you do that.
So yeah.
So well, I have another comment on how the game came to fruition. It sounds like it was a culmination of all the different classes you had at your at your university during your studies, and it just all sort of came together to make like a whole functioning game, which is fantastic to see. Taking so many disciplines that you've learned and putting it together, and it sounded like the team also formed organically from there.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I mean, like when the game started, it was just like my idea, and then this is like one thing that I actually like learned through all of this like development progress and all is that like when like at first I was very protective of it because it's like my idea, it's basically my baby kind of thing, and I want to be involved with everything in level design, like this design, every design, and then of course it just come to the point that like I'm overwhelmed and like Chris, what are you doing? And I was talking to myself like, you have these people and you have these people in your team because like they also own the idea now. It's not just yours, and it's like for like it will flourish when more people are like adding their stuff into it, because sometimes you have like a certain like a bias on a view of something, so it's really nice. So that's like something that I learned. It's like to let go. It's like so your baby, so it grows like let it be like out there, and
Your baby is now a teenager. They're developing their own personality.
Yes.
Let them go.
Yeah, so that's like a very like, because like of course like we have like the pipeline of the development. We learn those like kind of skills, software skills, like the pipelines in school. But then there's also those like soft skills that you learn during the development, which is like I think it's like so important. That's why like for me like I think that like doing tasks, doing this like assets and all, like they're good. They help your skills when it comes to like the hard skills, I guess. Yeah, and then but then it's also like nice noting that like if you really want to do this as your career, then like really working with other people is really really beneficial. Well, first of all, because the industry is about working with other people, so you might as well practice that. And at the same time,
you're the 1% that are solo devs.
yeah. Well, I mean, somehow they will still like.
Yeah, they still probably need those skills.
Yeah, but I still think that like it's so important that like sometimes like you get humbled, you get to know that like you just cannot have everything. You just cannot like be able to be there in everything. That's why you have like it's a team, so it's a group thing that you have to work on. So yeah, so that's like my initial story of it, like flourish when like two talented and skillful members like from our narrative team like Nora and Ufuk join. So I gave them like the base, like this is the kind of the story that I want, and then suddenly I was like when I was like looking at their work, it branched into this like concise and something that you understand, and which is like that's like I really like, because that's like how I envision it, because I want like a story that like when it's just like in a movie, like you watch a movie and after the movie you can stop thinking about it still, because it's like, oh yeah, that was nice, or it has to pose a question or something. And I mean, as I believe that like games are like an art form, and art is supposed to promote this thinking, and I'm sorry if I'm going super deep about this like stuff, and I'm just presenting the game. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, okay. So I guess that it's like nice to talk about, which is the how the game graphics. Like, I mean, this is like something that I think most of the feedback, like the positive feedback that we got, is that like because our game is giving this retro vibe into it. Like we put this shaders, post processing to make it look like a grainy old PS1 PS2 era. I know like a lot of indie games in horror indie games are using this because it's very what's the term?
Cheap.
It's very effective.
Yeah.
It's effective in like to the scare factor of it. It gives you this like as I like is written in here. It's like it provides this like atmospheric, blurry, dream-like sensation. It's because like fear is like strong when you're like things are not clear, when things are like obscured, when you don't know actually what it is. So that's why like it's dark and blurry. But of course, like we still because we're still in the development, we're also like thinking to still like have this kind of like options to maybe lessen the strength of this post process because accessibility, you know. So there's that, and as I mentioned before, like this is like set in Japan, like to be exact with the lore, it's like in Fukuoka. It's like we actually like open a map and then we like try to like find a random island. Oh, this one looks secluded enough. Maybe we can set it here. Just I think I remember having some drawings of it. Like, oh, maybe we put a shrine in here and there's something in here that's So yeah, and then the present period in the game, like when our player is introduced first, is like in the 90s in 1993. So if you notice our character like there, well, she's there.
Oh, wow,
so,
yes, no.
yeah, like she's like she's wearing like Maori design like her, and like made a lot of this variation, and we end up like choosing this one. It has like the Finnish like
Windbreaker.
Yeah, the windbreaker.
Or somewhere between a bomber jacket and a windbreaker.
Yeah. So that's why like we want to put still like even though this is like in Japan and everything aesthetic wise is like Japan, like we want to have a connection to Finland because we are developers from Finland, so we really want to have it there. So there's like those small things that like sprinkle in the game that like, oh yeah, this is like from Finland kind of thing.
They're very present in the starting cinematic.
Yeah, especially that, which is like, let's see if we can show. But yeah, anyway. So then there's also like the Edo period, as I said, because like the player gets pulled to the past, like like because she will find the truth that she was looking for in that time. So she needs to be there.
Right. Yes, so I think with the atmospheric blurry dream, like the PS2 graphics, that works out really well. It's very indicative of a horror indie style game, so it has that familiarity.
Yeah.
And I do agree that things are a lot scary when they aren't clear. Every time I take off my glasses, I have a mini heart attack. And 1993, great year, fantastic year, best years, the year I was born. It's a magical time in the world.
A lot of messages to Nora in particular, because like I don't know that much about. Well, rather I should say I didn't know that much about Japan's like culture and the stuff before I started working on Norowareta. Like I've always been more into like European feudalism and knights, so it's a different angle. And it's very different from what we had here at the time.
As for the main character's design, it's also very well done. I was actually quite surprised, like while I was playing the game demo, that when you actually finally see the main character while you're playing, I'm like, oh, this is me. Hello. I do look very 90s with the colorful bomber jacket kind of.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a very like Finnish kind of outfit to wear in the 90s because I wasn't here in the 90s. But yes, it's very good, and I think it's very good to like put, a bit of the studio identity into the games that you make because these are the kind of hallmarks of what makes Finnish games Finnish games. They have a very unique and like telling aesthetic about them.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, like I like when it comes to like this, having like Finnish flavor into it, because I remember we were presenting our game, or there's like a demo of it, and then like some Finnish people are like asking like, oh, you should have like done something like Kalevala, something like Finnish mythology. Yeah, I mean, I do like that would be really a cool concept, but like I just like I guess like I just want to share that like that like this game, even though it's like it's like made by like it's made by Finnish, well, Finland based like studio, and it's the focus is like from a different culture. Like it doesn't mean that like like we just like patronize that one. It's like more of like we show the flavor of this one, and then maybe like maybe we don't know, like maybe we can extend our like making more games that are like connected to different mythologies or like different culture
Based on Kouvola.
Kouvola, maybe. Oh yes, Kouvola Storita. Yeah. So there's that. So like we just like still like as you said, like we really want to have like the identity of like the flavor of like Finland still embedded in it, even though the settings is not in here. So yeah. And then also like I don't know if like in the slide next is like showing, or is it like the first one? I can't remember, but yeah, there, perfect.
Wow.
This perfect close up of our low poly like character. Like she has like if you still remember the term, but like the design is that like her hair is like having the T hair. Like in Japan,
In Japan, it was called tea hair. I can't remember.
Actually, literally tea hair, right?
Yeah,
But
it translates to tea hair basically, where it's like when they would bleach their hair, it wouldn't become like platinum blonde. It would become more of like a orangey or like a warmer blonde. So I just thought like, in general, like when I was designing her or like thinking about things, I thought like, oh, this would be cool of like a duality of her being, in ethnicity being Japanese but was adopted by Finnish people. Thusly, there is that sort of like identity crisis of like, is she maybe bleaching her hair to try and fit in, quote unquote, into a European like sort of aesthetic, and there's some flavor of like also just that was very much in the 90s. In Japan to bleach your hair.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's sort of like nice of like there's this correlation between the two, and I was like, then I just suggested, hey, maybe she has bleached hair.
Yeah.
And that's why she also has the
roots
showing,
showing.
to show that it is not her natural color. And then there's some sprinkling in of like rebellionism and stuff. I don't know.
Yes, that is true. Here we have like the four common setup of like a survival horror game. So like there's like the players are presented a problem. Well, for example, here we have like an example of the problem is an enemy, and then of course it makes like the player think like, what should I do? Do I fight? Do I run? They have options what to do. And it's like the processing of the information, and then depending on what like they plan, what have they chosen, then they execute that like to experimentation. Of course, like sometimes like for example, there are like some areas with like I think like the spiders, the mini ones, but they're not really mini because they're like probably this big in the scale. They attack in swarms. So like is running actually like worth it, or do I have to use my weapon? So there's that, and then of course there's the reward and punishment, like the outcome of that choice, and then. So if they fail, they start again with the problem. Or if they're like, they succeed on that, then they progress to the map. And then again, another one, because it's a loop, so it just like keeps on going and going. And this applies with everything, through the stories, through the enemies, through the puzzles, through the map. So, yeah. Okay, so this is like a really like fun, like I'm just showing you like how, just the truth as it gets, how true as it gets. And then like, so here, like when I said that like the teachers like told us to like present a game, and then 3 will be voted to be developed. That was like in spring 2022. So it's been a while. That's like it began as like a school project, and then by autumn, because like we already put in like the demo, and then like we shown it to like pitch it to like more students, and then we got like bigger team. But then this is like the this is like actually I don't at first. I mean, I'll be honest. At first, I was like thinking, this like a good idea that like like we have like bigger team, so like we can expand the concept. Yay, more people means like bigger concept. But then this is like, I guess it depends as well on like people's schedule and how like things are managed, that like would it be actually a good thing to do or not. So I'm not like saying that there's like a definite answer to it, but at least like kind of try to maybe like weigh things like, yeah.
Jenna gave a talk on the Norowareta production actually, like during one of the demo days we had at the school here, and I think she did like raise the point that like bigger team doesn't necessarily like mean a bigger scope.
Yeah. So that's like, there's that. And then then moving on to spring 2023, like scheduling issues and overall busy semester, because like I think we have like another game project that we have to do
For the school.
Yeah, for a school. It's actually like something that's like for credits.
It's our responsibility.
So so that like happened, and some people like, I don't know, probably started their thesis already or something. But then autumn 2023, we have like a massive progress and pre-production done. So I have a feeling this is like the time that we moved away from alpha. Probably.
Yeah, I think autumn 2023 was when I joined the project as
so
well.
that's like, thanks to Auntie here to like
This
kicking
one point is Auntie just.
autumn 2023 we got kicked out from the alpha. Now we go for beta, like to actually make like the whole design and like created to what we actually want it to be. Not just like, oh, we keep on like improving the alpha just because we want to show it, but then like the actual product is not, so that the Auntie is so good. Her flowers, because I mean, to be honest, because one thing is that like, sure, we make like a lot of concepts, we make a lot of assets, but when there's like no map to put them on, and like you don't really see like the application of it, it's just stays as an asset, stays like a concept. But then like Auntie build the map, build like, at one point I was like, Auntie, you really went crazy. Like, I mean, because to be honest, like the editor is like lagging. Usually you just lag on the game, right? But no, it's actual the editor is like lagging because there's so many stuff. And also this is like one thing that we also like learning kind of at the moment is the optimization. Because before like, we just like, our PC are not like smoking yet, I guess we can still put more. So those are moments. But you can like share your
so like initially when I joined, like they had like, well, I mean, like Chris said, there was like a lot of assets and concepts, but they had the alpha level built, but then like for the actual main game to start assembling that, so the first probably at least 4 months I was pretty much just building all the scenes of the game. And then effectively they were done, and at that point we were already kind of starting to notice like, okay, this level is way too large, we actually have to chop it into like 3 smaller pieces, so just for optimization purposes. And we kind of pushed that back, thinking like it would be easier to do like one optimization pass towards the end of the production, but now we got on a point where we have somebody else joining in, and it's like their PC is lagging a little bit to the point where they can't actually open the project. So it's like we'll have to do a little bit of autumn cleaning to like do the thing that I didn't initially do when I joined.
So that's the story of autumn that extends to now. But then like spring 2024, we had like steady development, because most people are free again to do stuff, so we just build thing. And then this was also the time when we started to have this kind of different way of working, instead of like every month like people, we have a meeting, and then like, oh, these are your tasks, you do this task, and then next month we're gonna have a meeting again to check up on what have you done. But now like we just like I guess like because most assets are done, it's more of like building the actual levels, the systems and all like that. So now we're doing those as like, we call it Noro Jam, which is funny because that's basically cursed jam because Noro is cursed. So like we have like Noro Jam like one weekends like in a month. So we set like, oh, like maybe Friday to Sunday, like usual kind of jams where like most like of the people who work on the scenes like in Unity, like we just go together in a Discord call, work together, and then we find it that like we actually like have things like being built rather than like, what is it, individual, like, oh, like you on your time you do this. But yeah, because I think like I heard as well from one teammate that like it works for them because like when you're actually like set up together working, the mindset of like, oh, I'm in the work right now, I'm doing it, rather than like, oh, like when you have time you do stuff. So it became like that format during this time, if I remember correctly.
A lot of people, like there were like some of the coders that were already working, so effectively like during the weekdays they wouldn't necessarily find the motivation to work on the stuff on their own, but with the Noro Jam effect, like when all the people are working, it's more easy to like join in on the work as well, and then you can just do the thing that you typically probably do in like game companies. When you're live, you can just go poke the person next to you and ask about something if you have a problem or need an opinion or something. So we're all just sitting on the Discord channel, like working together.
Yeah, and communication wise, yeah, as you said, it's a lot better because you need that information right from the spot that you're gonna get it. Because
or else you'll get a bottleneck.
Yeah. And then, what is autumn 2024, assembling final levels, tweaks and improving some features based on feedbacks. This one actually is like very important to the point that like we kind of, when are we gonna stop accepting the feedbacks and just like, we're getting stuck. We have like multiple levels and then we get like a lot of feedback on this specific level that is like finished. And then we're working on different levels, and then we go back based on the feedback, and then like tweak this, and then like the other levels are being set aside. So yeah, and then that's why like at one point we have a meeting, and then me and Yenna, we talk about having like passes, having quality pass, environment pass, vibe pass, I guess. Yeah, like the the whole vibe. Yeah, like atmosphere of it.
Yeah.
So to prevent us from like eternally working on the same thing just to improve it, because I think I guess like this applies to like a lot of like beginners and like students, that like we get stuck to this, like we want something to be perfect, which is like perfect is not really a thing. But it just like can't help it sometimes, I guess. And especially if you have like very hardworking people, we're just like really like, oh, we want it to be the very best. So like, yeah. And then here, this like the funny part here is that like I remember, if I remember correctly, this was like this presentation was like made around like autumn 2024, and then like by spring we're saying like, oh, game ready and published for
it was like an estimation.
Estimation, yeah. Surprise.
The demo is ready.
Yeah, I mean,
the demo became ready, so
yeah, which is like, I think it is like very polished. I guess like if there's like something that like we want to patch about the demo, is just like some additional settings that we added like in what we have right now. For example, gamma correction, because like it's actually funny because like we just found this like when more people are making videos of their gameplay, when like on one screen it's like it's just fine, and then on another screen it's super dark. That is like, because all of us probably has like just fine with it, and we didn't really realize it right away until I saw like one like YouTuber or like Twitch streamer was playing that like they have to watch their gameplay through their OBS because like they cannot
So dark.
see, it's so dark on there. Like so, yeah. So we have some fix on that, and I guess that's just something that we want to patch even the demo, even though it's out there.
That was actually a problem for me when I was taking photos of the the game for my portfolio, because it's like a lot of the in-game scenes are like very dark, and I couldn't really take them through the editor because it has the post-processing effect, so it doesn't do the game justice. But I actually had to edit them in post-process to like increase the brightness and contrast a little bit to make things even visible on my website.
Yeah. Yeah, but then like going back to this, like the game ready. Well, demo is ready, but again, like the actual game, we had like a conversation, like a lengthy conversation at one point. Do we just like, okay, we make things like fast. We just finish it, and then just get
it out of
get
there.
it out of there and like be get rid of it, something like that. But then, like, of course, we always have that. There were like moments where just like we just want to be done with the project. It's like out there because it's been a while already. It's 2022. What is it, 2025 now? But then when we start to think about those people who actually I would say fans, I guess, like we're really like invested into like not only the game but like the production of it, like how like like the people that we usually like talk to most of the time, like how is it going, what's going on with the project, like that. We thought of like like again way back when we like when it was just developed for like a course or something, and then I asked like me and Yenna thought of like, oh, we did something here, like maybe we continue. It's kind of the same way that like it's already nice, it's already there, like why would we like finish it just for the sake of like finishing it, but then it might suck. Like then it will always haunt us as well, that like it had a potential, but then like like because for example like we already have like some enemies like applied to it, like they're already working, but they're frustrating, they're annoying, it like it ruins the whole experience. So we got into the point where thinking like, do we spend more time to making them fun, or we just finish it, let it be? But then most people agreed that like, you know what, let's make it fun, because games supposed to be fun, and like most like take start playing games to feel better, to unwind, and like to just like stress and like ruins the whole experience. I think it's better if it's like maybe it gets a little bit longer than it was like promised or like planned, than like it's out there, but then like, oh, the hype is just a hype, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know, Chris made.
I mean, I guess we can show this, like the alpha, like and
How different it is now.
Yeah, I definitely haven't seen this yet.
like back then
Is
when
the original alpha still available?
I hit it. It's an itch, but I hit it.
Yeah, I feel
This
like
looks much different than what's
Yeah.
currently on the demo.
Yes, this is the alpha. This is how it looked like before.
you can recognize some of the assets though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then like we now have like an actual 3D
We have a
character.
character.
And I learned more animations. Oh look, it's like a different kind of sliding puzzle. Don't worry, that's like not there.
Mechanically, yes, it's there.
Yeah. But yeah, this is like the version that you played. It's So yeah, like I think like like the version that you played, you don't have that. That's like the weapon. That's like Kagura Suzu. So it's like the ceremonial bell by like priestess or Miko in Japan, which is we usually called Huisko. What does like Huisko translate again? Whisk.
A whisk.
Because it does look like a whisk. So yeah, there's that.
Continue.
So yeah, moving on. So yeah, like this is the whole team.
Plus one.
Click.
Yeah, we have plus one person.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
Click it.
I think like Oh yeah, it's this one that like I made for the audio presentation.
Yes.
That's why I have like Henry like that there. But yeah, so yeah, like Yenna Toivonen, our game producer, and like also like now like more of like the VFX. She's doing the VFX for us, and Elise is like if you play demo, there's like the cutscene, right? Like 2D
In the
cutscene in the beginning was like made by Elise, and like she also made like the ending 2D cutscene because we have like 2D and 3D, and then Ufuk like wrote all the things that you can like read, like the notes in the game, and then me there. Yeah, and then Suvi, our like Suvi Canerva, like our classmate and also like inactive member. Yeah, I mean like she's
The
inactive.
original
The original. Well, the one who like did like the props before and yeah, like more of like props, like 3D props, and then Ida. I don't want to butcher her surname, so I'm just gonna say Ida. Like our first as well, first from the like the time we got like our first programmer. So Ida, and then Mauri here, looking like a Smurf there, and and then and then Auntie, like yeah, 3D environment as you mentioned before, and then like also like we've done like improve some of the existing
like
yeah.
a little bit of level design considerations as well.
Yeah, and then Tony is also our second programmer, but he now like is also like an inactive member. Miriam, our concept artist, and also like doing the storyboard for the 2D cutscenes. Like she works with like Alice, and then Nora, our narrative and UX designer, like works with Ufuk. Like she like managed like the structure of the narrative and also giving the accurate Japanese facts that we need. So like she's
Our
like she's
codex.
knowledgeable of that. And then Kuti, our third programmer, that is now like also like a level designer and editor. Like so yeah, and then all of our programmers are from Kotka. That's but yeah, and then Henry, our I guess like say that like guest like a member because like is not like really like in the actual development, but then like oh like we need sounds.
Yeah.
Please give us sounds.
We have a cutscene. Please add sounds. to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, which is like we are very very thankful for.
Like he's our freelancer basically.
Yeah, I guess freelancer. Yeah, and then also like I guess like it's not like added here. We have like another member programmer that joined us that like helping on the optimization and the
Force implementation.
yeah, and then also help like in general with the other stuff that's like still needed to be done because art side is like on the easy thing now on the because like we're already in this like production where we're just like implementing stuff, so it's really heavy on the programmers right now. So like his name is Felipe, and yeah, it's like not added in here yet. Sorry.
But he's
very-
not
it's very
from
new.
Kotka, right?
No, he's like actually like a professional. Like he's working.
We have an actual professional.
He's working
Or
like
well, Henry also.
yeah, I mean he's also so yeah, but then again like also like they're more of like I guess like freelance is actually like a really good like term for it because they are more like oh here's like tasks for you do it kind of thing, but not really like in the very deep thing because of course they're welcome to do so, but it's because of their scheduling us like you know they're working people. So yes, that's that team.
This is excellent. It's great to see such a fleshed out team, and looks like the team has, you know, I guess progressively grown throughout the years. So this is, you know, good. Lots of disciplines, lots of, yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with a number of these people on this list, so it's good to see, like, yes, kind of like a good culmination of different disciplines and skill sets all coming together and working together to create something fantastic.
Yes, thank you. And then, oh yeah, actually, like, cutscene. That was like, it's already free. So this is like available in the demo. At least made this one, and Henry uh, uh, added the sounds, produced. And there. And
So
yeah.
something to note.
Oh, actually, this is the full one. This is not
Oh,
the one
there's
that you've seen in
more. I
demo.
haven't seen this.
Yes. Well, here you go. I mean, like this is like the next video will be like something that's not in the demo as well. So I mean, like feel free to like it's already. There you go. That's the full opening cutscene.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it wasn't in the demo.
Oh, the demo was like a cut
No, okay.
because like you.
The-
So yeah, there's that.
The first actual.
That's great. It's great to see so many new things that aren't in the demo being, created and like prepared for release for the full game. This is
Yeah.
this is wonderful.
Oh no, thank you for listening. Oh yeah, so there's like I mean I guess like it's nice to flash this like because there's our QR code for all the important links to Studio Crying Spider, like everything.
Excellent.
So yeah.
All right. Right. So that was an excellent presentation. I have two quick questions now, so before we wrap this up. First is, with the long development cycle and all of you working together throughout the years, if there, what's some things that you would do differently?
Well, one thing that also like this information also like I learned from my teacher, our teacher, not just only mine, is that like I find it actually like it would be a lot easier if the game structure was created first before all of the art, all of the concept thing, any development of like how it should look like, how does it feel like, how what colors this stuff. No, it's like the structure wise, the mechanics, everything should be already like fleshed out and like well not really like tested right away if they work, but they should be like prioritized because then like we can always apply the art parts of it, like how it looks, like who's the character, what's the story about. We can always like put that on top of like a working system like mechanics, because what happened that like prolonged with the development as well is that like the always changing stuff, like this doesn't work for this and we already have that, and then like, oh yeah, then we have to redo stuff, we have to rework stuff. That's like something that's like, I think, if I think of the first thing that comes to mind, like with your about your question, is it's about that. It's like it's important to have like the structure, like it doesn't have to be flawless. But it's like there that this is the ones that are we like the ones that we're going to use for the game. This is like the mechanics. This is the loop that we're gonna follow through the development, because like things that happened, like actually happened, like people. I mean, which I'm also aware that I was this kind of like person before as well, or a developer as well. Is that like you get to invested with your babies. You're invested with the things that you've done. That it's so hard at one point when we really need to change it, but then like, well, some got upset, which is true. So, and then it becomes like very difficult to like first like those moments of like, yeah, like, no, why you don't want the stuff that I've done, for example, those kind of like sentiments, which is not true. It's not like we don't want them, but it's like we have to change it. But again, of course, that also works, I guess, like in the professional world, that like like things just need to be scrapped, because that's like for the better, like the improvement and the better like improvement of the game. So there's that. It's like the first thing. Like we had started the game development before we even started to learn the pipeline. So yeah, it's a pipeline. So what happened is like we probably like started like in the middle of the pipe, and then like realized that, oh, there's like a hole at the back, and we have to go back there. So like, yeah, it's like this. If it's an actual pipe of a pipeline, it's just like we just keep on hopping. So that's like I guess we want to change if we could.
Yeah, I think a lot of those things comes down to like inexperience in our part when we started the thing. This is like a lot of it feels like the pretty basic development like mistakes. Like for example, from the environment art pass, like one problem, like one thing that I would definitely like, I will not do the same mistake twice, is when I joined the project and I started like assembling the levels. There was a level design, but it was entirely two-dimensional. Like I can read a two-dimensional plan easily enough because I do those things for D&D as well. But there wasn't a block out was never done, so we couldn't actually test the like level design in 3D. And instead of doing that, I noticed like it wasn't done. I should have done it, but I didn't. I believe that the 2D plan was thought out enough or tested, but it wasn't. So that effectively caused some problems that we had to redo some of the scenes quite considerably. For the final thing, especially based on the feedback that we got from the initial test of the game. And of course, like when you have like a not entirely fleshed out environment, but I would say probably like 70% of the way there, that's a lot of work that you have to redo. So that's like a bigger thing, at least from my part, that I would do differently. Always do the block out. If you're working with a 3D game, every time do the block out.
Maori,
Excellent.
you're thinking.
What was the question again?
If there's like something that you're going to change, isn't it?
Or like how I would do
Or
it?
do different.
Yeah, do different. Yeah.
I would refuse the job of art director. Well, okay, I know I've been I always throw it around as a joke and things, but there is some truth to it, because I've told Christopher before, like, I sort of got the job as a art director mainly because it was being too much of like Christopher having too many hats or too many titles, too many responsibilities, and thusly Christopher was like, "Hey, Mauri, you actually have art, experience and degrees and shit, and you know what you're talking about." But I'm not that good of a leader type role or like an authority figure of any kind. I understand myself like I'm more of a worker bee type, that you tell me what to do and then I do it. Thusly, I just can recognize that I've dropped the ball a few times in the project. Not majorly where it's like, oh, the whole game is now ruined because of me, but like I can recognize that I should be more vocal, because usually it comes down to Christopher tagging me in like, hey, what is your opinion about this? When I should be the one actively being like, hey, here's what I think about this. And instead it's just Christopher was like, hey Mauri, what do you think? And I'm like, okay, here's here's my direction, even though I should have been doing that from the beginning. Sort of just like, just being more assertive, I suppose, is what I would do differently. Or at least, correction, if I do take the job, to actually do the job and not be like wishy-washy of like, yeah, I guess I'll be the art director, I guess, sure, why not? So, at least like either refuse completely, or if you take the job, do the actual job. So yeah, that's what I would do differently.
But you contributed like so good that like, well, like look at how like the colors, like how they are actually, because for me I have bias with colors. Like these are like my colors that I would probably put like there
you
all the
will
time.
see a lot of like black and red in the game.
Because of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
I think those are all great points.
If you consider something that if you should do it now or you shouldn't do it now, it's like oftentimes like what you leave undone, you will find it ahead of you. So, like when I first joined the project, and I mean it's the first visual like production spanning for a long while, so you can imagine how the editor feels with stuff that you should probably clean when you join and look. Especially when I asked like, hey, like do we actually need any of this stuff? It would have been a lot easier to clean that when I first joined before I filled it with more stuff. Because now it's like, okay, which one of these are we actually
Which
using?
are essential and which are not.
Especially because when I initially joined, we had a lot of the alpha assets that actually have been since removed. So it's like it would have been way easier to clean then. So like, don't be lazy at the time, because you're going to find it ahead of you in the future, and you're going to be sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
All right, now for our final question: when is the game going to be released?
What was the word that we were supposed to say when somebody asked that? Was it 2 months?
Oh.
What was the thing that Andres said? Like always say 2 months.
Always, regardless of anything. Always in 2 months. In 2 months.
In 2 months.
Yeah.
What is the current estimation?
Well,
I think maybe in 2026, I think was what we were.
yeah, I think like when you have like the lengthy conversation of like what things to consider and like, do we want to make this like good that or fun? I guess like not just good but like fun experience. Even though it's like scaring people. I mean, it could be fun for us to scare people. But no, like kidding aside, what I'm like thinking is that like we allotted like maybe like another year. Well, I mean, that year was like starting that time we had the conversation was like probably earlier this year or like late last year. So like probably like 2026 indeed.
I mean, we have like the last year pretty much has been developing like from the code side, it's been spending like making systems.
Yeah.
And now most of those systems are built, and they're like effectively the monsters are halfway there, I'd say.
Yeah.
So it's like we're steadily getting there. Level side, they're pretty much done, except we need to do the implementation, which like once the systems are built, that's not going to take too long.
Yeah.
But then of course, like again, like to make it fun, we need to test it still.
Yeah.
So like at least a year still, I would say.
Yeah. And I would still like make like also like do more 3D cutscenes, more like throwing Maori around cutscenes.
And then of course, like one of the biggest like things that is probably slowing the thing down is actually like the fact that pretty much like all the people that are in the project have graduated now, and it's either like we are either working or unemployed, and well, being unemployed doesn't mean that you don't have work. Current state of Finland, so it's like Norogems will continue, but there's ultimately only so much you can get done in a single weekend, even if you are being very productive.
Yeah.
Right. That's fantastic. Really looking forward to the full release. Just wanted to say, when I asked this question, it's not a status update. You don't have to tell me what's done and not done. I mean, it's great. To know this stuff.
I mean, you can
I am not the producer here.
Oh no! Like and like we will see Yenna later, like or like after watching the video and like Yenna.
All right, and I'll do the closing, and then we'll wrap for a bit, to end this. All right. Well, this has been a very insightful and wonderful interview. Thank you all for joining me for this, the Crying Spider.
Well, thank you for having us. It was like really fun to like talk about the project like in a casual way, and like very relaxed on the couch and like nice setup and having this amazing people here with me, and of course you as well.
Yeah, first time for me to do any kind of public speaking for Norowareta as well. Like, I mean, Chris is a veteran, but they've been on the stage so many times.
Yeah.
Veteran
Me and
for
Mauri, I
being
think it's the first time. So.
nervous.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I was told to show up and I did.
That's great. All right. And thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out Norowareta on Steam and wishlist it and anticipate the amazing release of the full game coming apparently in 2026. We're going to hold you to it now.
Oh boy.
Links will be in the description. Thank you again for watching. See you next time. Bye.